So this is the brand new Conspit Apex bundle, and I think it's probably the best sim racing equipment you can get in the world right now for the price point. So what's the price point? $999, £750, and what do you get? Hydraulic pedals, an 8Nm direct drive wheelbase, and this wheel here that actually has a display in it. And again, I think for the price point, under $1,000, I think you probably can't get better than this. However, I'm struggling to recommend it. Now, I've been driving this on iRacing, LMU, ASETEK Evo, ASETEK Rally, even Project Motor Racing, and I've had some incredible experiences where I think it arguably punches above $1,000 in value. But also, like I said, I'm struggling to recommend it. So let's get into it. This is probably competing with the likes of, in my view, the Logitech RS50 and G Pro, the various FANATEC bundles you can get with maybe like V3s and their 8Nm wheelbases, the MOZA R9 that you can bundle with like CRP2 load cell pedals and something like a KS rim, the SimMagic equipment as well. It's competing with a lot out there for anyone who wants to get into, let's just say, nicely mid sim racing. So we're not talking Simucube 2 Pros, we're not talking MOZA R25s, we're not talking FANATEC podiums or Club Sport DDs. We're talking like 8, 9 Newton meters, 11 Newton meters of power. Now, I'm going to talk about build quality here. I'm going to talk about the stats you actually get. I'm going to talk about the feel, which is really important and did differ in the titles I'm using. And I'm going to talk about whether you should actually just buy this or not. Now, I don't see a lot of Conspit equipment reviewed, to be honest. I don't know why that is. I try and review as much Conspit equipment as I can because I think the products are really good. Now, I don't have an affiliate with Conspit. I'm not paid by Conspit. That might be why other reviewers don't review it, to be honest. Why would they spend time doing it? I'm here for the love of the game. But in all the time I've been reviewing Conspit equipment, I haven't seen a surge of people in my comments, in my community, asking, hey, should I get this? Should I upgrade it? Or coming back and saying how it was. So if you are watching this and you have got Conspit equipment, please write in the comments your experience, because I just want to know how pervasive is Conspit in the sim racing space, and make sure to subscribe as well. So let's start with these pedals actually, and I want to start with mounting. In fact, I'll start with mounting with everything. The mounting on these pedals, absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I love what they've done here. You can see you've got these holes here, these access holes, and there's two more, one down there and one up here. Fantastic to access. None of this having to go up through the bottom. Think about FANATEC V3s. None of this having to dismantle the load cell to get in and screw under the pedal. They've really thought that through. So ease of mounting, absolutely fantastic. And that continues with the wheelbase. Ease of mounting here. But it's got T-slot. And if you follow me, you know that I don't like mounting T-slot. However, here, the T-slot is really wedged in very nicely. The tolerances they've done is very smooth. So that means it doesn't move around. So once you get it in the right position for your wheel deck and you tilt it down, they don't move and you just screw straight in. So an alternative to Logitech's way of having the trays now, but much better than even the more expensive, you can see there, even the more expensive Conspit Apex Platinum, which has more travel, and the same with the ASETEK wheelbases as well. So that's good for mounting. I think there might be a separate mounting for a table as well, which is interesting because I would be surprised if anyone's buying this to mount on the table. I would think that audience is quite small. However, they do come with an accessory for the pedals also, with a little backboard, so it kind of backs onto a wall. So they are really thinking about that. Now, more mounting stuff. New QR. I've criticised Conspit since day one in my review videos for the previous QR, which I just think didn't inspire confidence. They've now moved to this new NRG style QR, and the wheel itself comes with it also. So this is a new Conspit QR, much more used to what we're seeing with a high quality QR. Obviously, it is NRG style with the bearings, so you could try and put another brand QR in there, but I really would not, because I think you're going to damage the pins. Now, what you can do is you can get a Conspit QR wheel side and put it onto your rim. So I did that with the Bavarian SimTech wheel, went straight on, and I was racing. Fantastic. Now, I did have to plug the Bavarian wheel via USB into my PC. However, Conspit are also, and this is separate to this bundle, they're also, I think, going to do a wheel side thing where you can plug in a USB and have some kind of pass-through. So again, they're thinking of it, but this is what you get in this bundle. Now let's come to quality materials. I mean, hydraulic pedals. I don't understand how they're doing this for the price point, because ASETEK make hydraulic pedals and they're much more expensive. This is the hydraulic brake, and it just feels great. I don't know about long-term use. I don't know whether it's going to leak or not, because I haven't used these pedals day in day out for 2 years. So again, this is a reservation I have, but I would love to hear from you if you do have Conspit hydraulic pedals, either these or the more expensive CPP Evo pedals, because on the face of it, the quality of materials is absolutely fantastic. One thing I'm not super keen on is there's a little pedal deck on the front, and it seems to flex a little bit. I would love if that was a little bit stronger, although I like the idea of, again, what they've done with accessibility. See, there's 4 screws there to take it apart. Wheelbase quality materials, it's a direct drive wheelbase. They're all fantastic these days. Like, we're spoiled in that regard, so that's great. And then the rim, we've got nice stitching here. We've got a nice pleather material. And for a wheel that arguably looks similar to the ASETEK Ignition, funny I'm talking about ASETEK a lot, looks similar to the ASETEK Ignition wheel, this one looks miles better. It looks so much better than the Ignition. It's kind of insane. And that's, I think, due to the colour, the purple colour, and also the style of material they've used here. And also these encoders that to me look very similar to the ones that I saw in Bavarian SimTech 2 years ago. So Conspit is clearly taking cues from what's out there in the industry. Whether that bothers you or not, I don't know. But they're kind of like, it's kind of a best of, you can see here, hydraulic pedals like ASETEK, NRG quick release like MOZA, these ones like Bavarian SimTech. So yeah, but build quality, absolutely fantastic. And we've got carbon shifters and carbon clutch paddles as well. And the carbon shifters are very quiet. These are the quietest shifters I've ever reviewed. You can't hear them. You can't hear them. I'm not doing any noise thing. You can't hear them. You literally can't hear them. And they're not bad either. Their magnetic shifters are just very, very well dampened. So if you want to race in silent, you can race in silence with this thing, which is quite interesting. Okay, now let's talk about the driving experience. So let's start with Le Mans Ultimate. Unbelievable experience. Unbelievable. It feels like you're driving on a setup that is worth more than $1,000, given the pricing of the likes of the SimuCube 2 Pro or the MOZA R25, and given in those powerful wheelbases you're going to be turning them down. When this wheelbase for me really sings when it's a little bit turned down and you have unbelievable detail. It feels like one of these new generation wheelbases with so much detail. So for example, if I give you an idea, let's say you're doing Parabolica at Monza, the last corner. So you're on the curb on the outside, feel the vibrations, you've got nice road feel. You turn in and you feel the load, but you still also feel the slip. You still also feel like if there's a bit of contact, you feel the tyres, you unwind it, you feel more road feel again. It's really, really good on those small details. However, when you run it at max sometimes, so 8 Newton meters, I feel like you lose that dynamic range. I don't think it has the same dynamic range that you get with like the SimuCubes and you get with like the MOZA R25, where they can also have huge load, like and you still get the little details. Here, if you want to have as much load as possible, you're going to lose the detail of the detail. So I would have it a little bit lower and really sing in those details. It feels almost like True 4C in the way that you kind of like hearing what the car's doing. So I was surprised by that. I was expecting a more standard experience. I feel this is probably better than the MOZA R9 V1 that I have. We'll have to see about the V3. And I feel like it's better than the FANATEC bases that are 8 Newton meters with a boost pack. So it's a very good wheelbase in the driving feel. It was great in Le Mans Ultimate. It was great in iRacing. It was fantastic in Evo. We'll get onto pedals. It wasn't as good in ASETEK Corsa Rally. For some reason, it didn't sing as much in AC Rally, and I wonder if it's because actually AC Rally really wants a more powerful wheelbase than I was expecting, because maybe the feeling when you're on gravel is actually more than the feeling when you're on tarmac and on curbs, etc. So I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I was expecting to have an equally good experience on ASETEK Corsa Rally, and I didn't. It was the worst experience I had on this. Still good, but it wasn't like punching above its weight. Where it punched above its weight again, Project Motor Racing. I downloaded Project Motor Racing, regarded as one of the jankiest games at the moment, force feedback, and it was unbelievable. I'll show you some footage on screen of probably me doing the first lap on this, and it was at Spa, I think it was, and it was crazy. I was properly in there. I could feel the tire slip. I could feel everything. I was in the car like from the initial moment, and I feel like it was the detail in the wheelbase was making that happen. If you played Project Motor Racing, you know that you have to experience the force feedback in a bit of a different way when it comes to the tire load, when it comes to what happens with, I think, the rack rate when you kind of apply load on the tires and on the steering rack. And this held up amazingly, like fantastic. I don't think you need anything more than this. Like for that, it was great. These brakes on ASETEK Corsa Evo, I've spoken before about hydraulic brakes from Conspit when we reviewed the CPP Evo pedals. Hydraulic brakes for me for road cars are fantastic. Driving something like a Mazda, or we drove like the BMW M8 and ASETEK Corsa Evo, unbelievable, so good. Better than just standard load cells in my opinion. When you want to have that just hydraulic feeling, I can't quite put my finger or my feet on it, but it just, for road cars, supreme. For race cars like GT3's hypercars, I don't think it's as important when those cars have a shorter travel generally. But when you're driving a car where you expect a longer brake travel, the braking distances are longer, you're spending more time trail braking, so you're spending more time in the braking phase. Having that feel of a hydraulic is absolutely fantastic. So really, really, really impressed with this. Like from Evo, if you want Evo, they should do a bundle with Evo because it was genuinely so good. Again, ASETEK Corsa Rally didn't really make a difference in ASETEK Corsa Rally. In fact, I didn't really feel that connect in ASETEK Corsa Rally compared to my SimuQ 2 Pro and active pedals, which is probably the highest bar you can get in sim racing. The rim, really, really, really good. Fantastic rim, felt locked in. You can drive GT3s in it. You can drive road cars, obviously. It sings in road cars. Again, the rally experiences around rim, whatever reason, we need to come back and revisit ASETEK Corsa Rally in it. The display doesn't work in as many games as I hope it would. I feel like my MOZA gear through MOZA Pit House works pretty reliably in most sims, whereas this you have to kind of go through SimHub and Conspit Link and switch between the two, and it's a bit fiddly. And there were a few sims I drove, like Project Motor Racing and Rally, where there was just nothing on the screen, and I don't think the rev bar was working, which takes away the point of you having paid for the screen. So that was a bit disappointing. There's obviously so much you can map here. I've done a separate video on the I know what Bavarian call it. They call it adaptive beam tech. So I can't remember what Conspit's name for it is called, but basically you can swap through a load of different settings. You can customize it as well on the screen. You can have your name on there if you want and certain presets. So yeah, it's a fantastic rim. Obviously you can use a 300 GT from Conspit as well, which is like a GT form factor of this with a similar screen. I'm getting more into my round wheels. I've been using the SimuCube Valo, the ASETEK round wheels as well, like the Alcantara round wheel and this round wheel. So I'm getting back into round. Obviously G Pro, I used their dish one for a long time. That was fantastic. Now in terms of compatibility, this is all PC only. PC only. I feel if Conspit could get PlayStation compatibility, that is maybe the thing they need to kind of like accelerate their growth in probably the West or the markets that I'm aware of, where they don't quite seem to have that critical mass of people, you know, who have it and who are talking about it and recommending it to other people. So I can see that working with console, but it's not console at the moment. This is all PC only. The pedals you can run independently, which I've done. And on the back of the wheelbase, we've got loads of ports here for accessories, all USB-C here. And we have a USB-C to the PC as well. In terms of upgrades, you could upgrade these to the CPP Evo pedals. I struggle to see why. If you're going to be doing this and you're more of like a road car kind of person, I don't think you need crazy stiffness on it. I think these are absolutely fine. You can also upgrade to the Aries Platinum. Again, I'm not sure why. The Aries Platinum is more expensive. It goes up to 18 Newton meters if I remember, but comes with the older QR at the moment. I would just get this in the same way I would get RS50 over G Pro. And the rim ecosystem in Conspit is very good. You've got the 290 GP, which is one of my favourite wheel rims ever. Very uniquely designed, it feels to me. All the way up to stuff like the Max 01 and the PW1, I think it is, which seems to be like an unofficial replica of the Ferrari F1 steering wheel. So Conspit doing a good job on rims. You're kind of covered. If you're on PC, you are covered in terms of an ecosystem with Conspit, and they do their own rigs as well. But it brings me back to the initial question, which is, I think I've explained here why, bang for buck, this is probably the best bang for buck you can get in this price range. However, I just don't know whether these hydraulic pedals are going to stack up over 2 years use. I don't know how reliable the wheelbase is over time. I don't know whether the stitching on this is going to hold up, etc. I have no reason to not believe it, but I just don't know. And what I'd really need is for people who are using it day out to keep giving the feedback. That's how we know that the THRUSTMASTER T598 has a disconnection issue, because so many people in our community let us know about it and keep us updated. So I just don't know with Conspit yet. I would say if you're a PC sim racer and you know what you're doing and you've got $1,000 budget or £750 and you're happy to risk it a bit, let's be honest, for something that is probably better than what you're going to get from the likes of Logitech, FANATEC, etc., then go for it. If you trust your distributor, retailer, I'll try and get some affiliate and discount codes for you so I can also be in touch with retailers and see if there's any refunds, etc. But if you got the budget and risk it, you're probably getting a fantastic deal. However, if you're a little bit nervous, apprehensive, you definitely don't want to waste your money. You got safer bets in Logitech and FANATEC and THRUSTMASTER. You got safer bets there. Like Logitech RS50 bundle is £600 and it's still 8 Newton meters. It's a load cell brake and it's a good quality rim. The rim doesn't have a screen. The load cell brakes aren't hydraulic, and the base is actually pretty comparable with this, I would say. I think the Aries Apex may be a little bit better, but they're very comparable. I would say the RS50 for the price is just very, very, very good. So those are my thoughts on that. I hope Conspit can get more of these out there. Maybe we'll try and do some more stuff with Conspit as well and put them through their paces. But a really interesting bundle to review. Great to put it through its paces on so many different sims as well. If you appreciate that, please just leave me a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.